the number one reason why people relapse from using the packet, and why that relapse spikes at 30 days. To fully understand this, we have to understand the concept that nasal ingestion of you-know-what is a psychological hijacker. When you start using on a regular basis, it hijacks your prefrontal cortex. It begins to take more and more control of those components contained within your prefrontal cortex, such as your receptors that manufacture dopamine, such as your impulse control, such as your risk-taking factor attached to impulse control. And it takes over the prefrontal cortex and begins to hijack your mind more and more. While it's hijacking your mind, you no longer produce dopamine, or the amount you produce is so minimal. And the reason that you use nasal ingestion of you-know-what is because you have now created an external source of dopamine. So you have an external manufacturing source of dopamine, which means you replace the dopamine that you no longer manufacture. However, when you stop using, you're in a dopamine deficit for a period of time. You're no longer making enough dopamine to feel good, and life seems dull and boring. And the longer this goes on, the closer you are getting to pushing the enemy out of your prefrontal cortex. So what does an enemy that hijacks you do that's being pushed out? It's going to try and fight back. And it's going to try and fight back by giving you a little bit more dopamine. And as your brain's giving you a little bit more dopamine, you get this feel-good feeling. And you're like, well, this feels good. And you relate this feel-good to your external source of using, because it's been such a long time since your internal receptors manufactured that quantity of dopamine. And you misunderstand this misinterpretation. And often people then go to compound that feeling and go, well, this feels good. I want to feel even better. And then they end up relapsing. Remember, it's a psychological hijacker. You're fighting an internal war. And that means those feelings, uncomfortable feelings, means you're getting closer to winning. What's that about?